Hello everybody, this is Elvis the Tank Destroyer, and I will be covering yet another map, and you are all very familiar with this one. Now, I'm gonna start off with the spawn on the green side, and I'm gonna just kind of give you an idea of how to play on this map. Now this is a bit more aggressive if you have an aggressive team, and this is more for a tournament tier 6. It can be used in a tier 8 tournament, but it would be slightly different. So I'm just going to be covering tier 6 positioning and the jobs of certain players. Now very often, as we all know, mainly the job of that falls upon the mediums is, as we spawn from this area here, and that's spread out, we have to have a couple of mediums that are hull down and quick, and we don't want lights. You don't want to bring lights. If you have to bring like an AMX with the 3 shells, but I'm not very fond, as some of the guys know. But here's how we approach this. So the 2 mediums immediately, so these are not marked for supremacy, so let's see, undo that. So as we know, one cap would be right there, another cap would be, let's see, somewhere right here, if I could guess correctly, a little fuzzy, and the third cap, of course, would be somewhere right here. Now what you want to do is send out 2 mediums, and as you know this, to hold this area right here. Can't let them cap that. Often, we all know this, let me change this real quick. Often we all know this, the enemy will have somebody sniping from this side. That's why we have to have one heavy gunner, so one heavy that can successfully exchange fire right through that. We have to have that ability. So one will be there, and you'll also be covering the mediums. Now you have to be kind of able to function this way and that way. Alright, so I'll undo that real quick so it doesn't look too busy. Now, so you have 3 tanks that are occupied with the current situation. Now, the other guys, which are the 4 tanks, which would usually end up somewhere here. So we got 4 tanks, which end up somewhere here. It isn't necessary to rush in immediately. What you want to do is just stay there for just a short period of time. We have to find out who's approaching the flank. Is it the whole team, or is it just the mediums? What you want to do, if the entire team, the entire enemy team has come through here, and you're seeing 3 or 4 of them, what you want to do is come through here. This has to happen fairly quickly, and you want to take cover. You want to be able to take cover because there's some obstacles right here. So you should be able to take cover. Just don't block each other. What you want to do is, the mediums are going to be agitating from this side, and the other 4, which would be heavies or TDs, whichever, would be exchanging fire through here and moving in. You want to move in as quick as possible. Now you ask what if that doesn't happen, and they end up coming up from here and here, as usually that happens. Well, simple solution: the mediums would clear out whatever other mediums may be there. The heavy shooter would still continue covering, and the mediums will push right through while you guys are not excelling into the battle too hard until the mediums are actually someplace here. And you have to watch that map. You have to watch that map. Make sure that you know that they're actually there pulling through. Now, this never really happens. It's rare. It happens in regular games, but not in tournaments. You know, tournaments are very much more organized, and they flow at a much different pace. So capping one base, protecting the B base, and possibly engaging the base A. So that's B, that's A, and that's C. The medium would take C at some point. The heavy shooter would be covering them and them alone, and the four of you would be hanging out somewhere here and possibly attempting to exchange some fire back and forth until the mediums actually push through around. That does rarely happen, so you may expect to have to pull off. You might have to pull off this position here and come through here. At this point, when this team comes right through here and the mediums push through as well, the heavy hitter would move forward and continue softening any other team that may be anticipated up front. So these are two possibilities where you can cover quickly any position or any area or any attack from these positions. Now remember, like I said earlier, you have to understand this. You have to be able to come through here fast enough with the 4 tanks to take out the guys there camping and exchanging fire against the mediums while the heavy hitter is paying attention on both sides. So now you have overwhelming firepower where you're eliminating the mediums. The heavy hitter is now concentrating in this area because whoever is here is going to come out and attempt to hit one of our guys here. So you have to make those shots. You have to make those shots every time. You have to make that shot there. You cannot allow him to take fire at our team without returning fire and making sure that he knows you're there and that you are aiming at him. But like I said earlier, this area here has to come through very quickly, but only under one circumstance. Only under one. Once the enemy team, 2 or 3 enemies may be here. You barely ever see 2 possible, 3 maybe. Once you eliminate the 2 and the mediums also push right through, the heavy hitter is covering that area. Whoever may be here, 4 of them possibly, by the time they figure this out, what just happened, even if they hit you once, you've already run right through here, took out their flanking team. By the time this enemy team realizes that they need to push through and attack you, you'll have at least 2 enemy players down, and you should be able to overwhelm the rest of them by coming around all together. And heavy hitter would probably not be able to come all around. He'd be too slow, so he would probably push in back through here and do what he can. So yeah, that's kind of a messy looking plan, but those are two options. And remember, I mentioned it again, the second four tanks, which would be somewhere here, all they would have to do is wait for the mediums to spot. If they see 2 or 3 of them there, the decision would be easily made, and you would push right through there quickly. You would prepare yourself. You wouldn't actually just sit here. You would definitely have to prepare yourself for that position. So you would have to be somewhere in this vicinity here and just kind of wait for it. That way you can easily make a decision, either make that move if there's 3 of them here, or 2, or make this move while the mediums come around and distract and turn their guns around. The mediums would have to do this very carefully, so I advise running a mission through here like that, so you have some cover, 1 over here, and the third one would be someplace right there, because you don't want to go all around. You're way too exposed, and they're gonna certainly spot you and attempt to turn around. But when that happens, the 4 tanks from this side will have to engage as well. That way you have them in a clash, and this is starting to look like some kind of evil looking monster with deadly consequences. Alright guys, I hope that helps out. It's a lot of information, but it's just nice to have more than one option as the enemy advances towards you. Alright guys, thank you very much and have a good day.